Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do, this guy.
Hello racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, May the 10th races at Hastings. We do have 7 races on the Saturday program, and before we get into that, we will touch on one of the last weekend's stakes races, but we should also touch on the Kentucky Derby. What a great race.
It was absolutely a great race. Good to see West Coast horse, California bred, a long-time West Coast trainer, Art Sherman. Many of the people in these parts know Art.
Yeah, rode here. You know, Hastings was part of the circuit. It was Exhibition Park at the time. It was part of a circuit. Then Art Sherman rode here in British Columbia and is familiar with Exhibition/Hastings Park. But great to see him.
Yeah, of course. He's shipped a lot of horses over the years up to Seattle. As did his son Steve Sherman here. He ships up to Seattle, usually for Mile Weekend. They bring one for the Mile. So well known around these parts. Great to see.
California Chrome. Little guys own the horse.
Yeah.
That's cool. They were great.
2 working stiffs. Absolutely wonderful. And great for Art Sherman, oldest trainer ever to win the Kentucky Derby. And it might be pointed out that my partner here nailed the exacta cold.
Commanding Curve.
Commanding Curve.
Yeah, no, that was an accident.
Like a 50-to-1 shot.
Yeah. I like Candy Boy too, but that one went on the missing list.
I picked Wicked Strong on top. He ended up 4th. I had California Chrome in 2nd.
That horse ran good. That horse is worth following. Wicked Strong had a brutal trip.
He did,
The 20 post killed it, and it was like 6 wide on the first turn. Ended up, running a good race considering he didn't get any breaks. That horse is worth following either in the Preakness or the Belmont. I don't know if he's running in the Preakness, but the Belmont likely.
Commanding Curve might be a horse to watch in the Belmont too.
Yeah,
he was closing fast.
He's rolling late.
The one horse that I had, you had Candy Boy that kind of didn't show up. The one that I didn't show up was Samrat.
He ran tough. He was 4 deep much of the race.
Not a great trip, but he still ended up.
He
was pretty far back.
Pretty good for a New York bred. He ran good.
But all in all, great as always. The Kentucky Derby.
It was an awesome day.
Just an unbelievable race, and California Chrome. Hats off to Victor Espinoza and Art Sherman and all the connections. Awesome horse. Hopefully, he can win the Preakness and give us a little bit of a excitement.
Get horse racing in the media. The social media is so big, and if we can get California Chrome to win the next leg,
just
and
then
it's like horse racing everywhere. Gets in the front of the newspaper, which would be great. But
while the 3-year-olds were running in Kentucky, our local 3-year-olds were running in the Jim Coleman province.
Great segue.
Thank you very much. 9 of them on tap. We're going to go to the video here now.
Yeah, we're just going to, there we go.
There we go. Horse to keep an eye on here. Number 1, Aspen Getaway, Peter Redekop, Anita Bolton, and Joey Steiner, the connections.
Yeah, broke well down the, we had a restart.
We're going to show that again, how he broke well.
Yes, how well
he broke.
On the rail. And
here we go, we're going to break.
Pretty quick.
Come on, Joey Gray.
We always have a little fun.
We always do have a little bit of a hiccup with these. Joey Gray's button his stick. Oh, there I see.
Yeah, we're moving.
So you're going to be watching Aspen Getaway.
That's the one. And Never Bet a Cause is way on the outside of the 9-hole. And
last year's top 2-year-old. There we go.
And
a little bit of action, but those 2 horses stayed out of it. As you can see, Aspen Getaway got a clean break. I believe that's
Song of Victory.
Song of Victory,
sorry, out of the gate to get the lead, and kind of intimidated the one horse there, but it didn't matter. The Peter Redekop owned and Anita Bolton trained Aspen Getaway, sitting in pretty much in the 2-path, very professional. This horse had only had the 1 3.5 furlong run too. Hats off to the connections. They had this horse ready to roll. But Song of Victory coming in fresh from California, was fit, ready to go, had a nice big 3-length lead here, and seemed to be traveling comfortably. He is maiden, but still horse that has some
obviously has some ability. Yeah, 22-1, and but no match for Aspen Getaway. He kind of
cruised up here. On the outside,
just waiting to pounce.
And hailed. Tempest ran a big race under Corinna Andros. That was a big run from this horse.
Absolutely. Nice ride by the young bug girl. Look for her to make some noise here this year. Very nice girl. So the hard worker, kind of girl you want to cheer for. And she had a good weekend. She had a win in 1, but she did come second in this stake.
And here comes Aspen Getaway, just drawing away, and Tempest, a good run to be second. And
is that Never Bet a Cause coming on the outside?
She ends up 4th, Never Bet a Cause.
Yeah, he was on the inside there.
But congratulations to Peter Redekop and Anita Bolton.
On the BC Derby Trail,
yes,
Aspen Getaway gets the first one.
Good run. All right, let's get into the Hastings card. 7 races on tap. First half of your early double. Got some $4,000 non-winners of 3 going 6.5 furlongs. Just got a 5-pack signed on here, and I ended up on the 2 reluctantly. I was between Makina and Bridge Jumper. I went to Bridge Jumper, taking a big drop in class from Open 16 into a restricted non-3-4. Horse didn't do a whole lot of running, but still, it was Open 16. That's a lot tougher company, and so I'm hoping Alex Pisona will put this horse right on the lead, because I don't want him to give the lead to Makina, who has now a race under his belt after the big year layoff. So I'm hoping Bridge Jumper gets to the chooch and plays catch me if he can. I put Makina in for second. Amadeo Perez, first run off the claim. You don't need to jump now off. If you do lose, there's a new claiming rule. You can't drop, but
you can make a lateral move.
You can make a lateral move if you don't win the race. So this horse was claimed for $4,000. Can run back for 4. There's no jail time if the horse lost, and that was the case last time. If the horse wins, you have to make the 25% jail
jump
rise in class, at least 25%. But Makina's the second best for me. And Chapel Boy, if the top 2 go at it, I think this horse could run, could put a scare into him late, because it is 6.5 furlongs. You'll notice a lot of these races are 6.5 this week, so or they all are. But I went 2, 5, and 4 in the Saturday opener. I
got the same horses. I mean, Bridge Jumper has taken such a big drop that I had to take him. Dropping from 16, that tough 16 with Bear Rock and Roll. His last 2 races were not spectacular, but if you go back a little further, he was running competitive at Golden Gate in the $10,000, $20,000 level. Anything close to one of those efforts.
Yeah, I'm worried he's getting soured up. That's the only thing I'm bothered is that he's just kind of losing interest, and I wouldn't want to back him up 2 to 5 or anything.
No. But with that drop, I have to take him. I put Chapel Boy in second, just because I like the way Harold Barry's horses have been running. I like the way that Keyshawn Belgobin's been riding. They already teamed up for a win earlier this meet, so
Doreen's Delight.
Yeah, exactly. Hard knocking little horse, Chapel Boy. So I put him in the second spot, and I put Makina in the third spot. I thought that was a pretty big effort. The horse has been off a long time, and he might bounce maybe a little bit off that.
He got hooked. He had run hard, Makina, and the horse was game and held for second, which I liked.
Yeah, so I thought that was a tough race that might have taken a little bit out of him. So I went 2, 4, and 5 in the opener. On the second, Maiden 25 for girls. I went to your likely favorite here. Speaking, we just watched Aspen Getaway win, another one of the Anita Bolton barn. Elusive Lily with leading rider Amadeo Perez aboard. Stakes placed last year. Unlucky not to have broken her maiden, but drops in here for Maiden 25, first out of the box this year, going with 100% trainer Anita Bolton. All systems go on Elusive Lily. This would be my best bet of the day. The second spot I put number 2, 4 Times Lucky, owned by our good friend here at the Derby, Ken Johnson. I have a lot of faith in. I like the fact they got the start in it last year. So she's had the experience. She's had 1 race. Looks to be training forwardly for here. I think Richard Hamill had a few options in here. He's stuck with 4 Times Lucky, and I know I have a lot of confidence in the way Mike Anderson can get a horse ready. And the third spot, I went with Queen Militant out of the Sylvia Gregory barn, taking a drop down, ran a maiden special weight. That Avadiva Flatter U race earlier on, drops in the maiden to 25, goes in for 20, blinkers on, 109 pounds with an underrated Ryan Pacheco in the irons, 3, 4, and 5 for me in the second.
Yeah, I agree with the 3-horse Elusive Lily. Connections are undefeated, as you mentioned. Likely going to go 5 for 5 to start the meet, which is not surprising. But Amadeo Perez rides, good races last year. Stakes place, just lost by a neck to Architecture, who was the top 2-year-old filly. She won awards at the awards dinner last December. Works are good. Not a tough maiden 25 year at all, so they're not asking her to do a lot. Maiden 25 should hit her perfect. I put the 4-horse 4 Times Lucky. I agree with you on the Mike Anderson trainee. Goes in blinkers for her first start of the season. Works are excellent. Mike's horses are running well this spring, so don't be surprised that this horse is pretty live as well. Had lots of trouble in her debut last year, so you can throw that race out. And I put the 1-horse Little Blossom in for third for Mel Snow, who's had a good start to the season. Good works, Frank Fuentes rides, and there were some pretty good races last year that had some tough trips as well. This horse has some speed, and it might be in play just in behind the speedy Elusive Lily, so I like her to run third. I went 3, 4, and 1. On to the third race, some $16,000 3-year-olds here, going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 4 Admiral Morgan, pretty easy win. Took advantage of some very pedestrian-like fractions, 24, 47, and 3, and then won off very easily in a maiden 12-5. Did get claim. It was the Rob Gilker barn. But I like the draw. I like the outside. I think the 3-horse Grove Trotter is the fastest in here. I don't know if he's necessarily the best horse in here, but I think he'll get the lead, and I think Admiral Morgan will get a nice 2-wide trip sitting off of him, and I think with the fitness edge, I think he's going to be dangerous. Amadeo Perez rides. put the 1-horse Private Tanner, who will likely be covered up in behind those two. If they switch post, I would like Private Tanner. Because I think Private Tanner will get covered up. But I just think Admiral Morgan will get first run because he has the outside draw and can come, sit in the 2-path. And because I think Grove Trotter will clear, get over to the rail, and this horse can sit a nice 2-wide trip. So I went 4-1, and I put the 5-horse Ride the Sky, who had a good season last year. It showed some ability. This horse ran well, got well backed in all of his races too, and the work tab has been excellent once again for Mike Anderson. So this horse is, I think, in play as well. I went 4-1 and 5, but I definitely like the Racing Fit Admiral Morgan.
I got the same horses. I did put Private Tanner on top just because he's a horse. He's 1-2. He won a 3-year-old winners race in California. Those 12-5s in California are pretty salty races for 3-year-olds. He looks like he can sprint well. Only got, even last time, just got beat a couple lengths. So I think he's been facing tougher horses, basically. I don't know how tough that maiden race was with Wee Harry, and even though it was an impressive run last time for Admiral Morgan. So I put Private Tanner on top. I got Admiral Morgan in second place. As you mentioned, Rob Gilker, always good off the claim. Him and Amadeo Perez, too, are just lights out together, batting 60% the last couple of years. That is off the charts. And in the third spot, I put Ride the Sky, same as you, Mike Anderson's horse. Broke his maiden at the end of last year, comes back against winners this spring in a reasonable spot for 16. I got 1-4-5 in the third. On to the fourth, maiden, $5,000 fillies and mares. This is a race I had a bit of trouble with because
not a lot of good form
Not a lot of form to go on. I went with the 2 Exotic Legend of the Mel Snow Barn, a horse that's making its first start. Mel Snow's horses have been running well to start the meet. She lures leading rider Amadeo Perez. She doesn't have as questionable form as most of these horses because there is no form. I'm taking that as a positive in here.
She's undefeated.
That she's undefeated. So I put Exotic Legend on top. I put 2 Trees out of the John Snow Barn, a horse that was running for maiden 20, maiden 10 last year. John, pretty sharp horseman, obviously thought that 2 Trees had some talent. Drops down to into her 3-year-old year, right into the maiden 5, starts right at the bottom, and gets some weight off with Corinne Andros. In the third spot, I put another first-time starter, Mike Anderson's horse, Yar, a Dreamer. Mike Anderson's horse has been running well. Works are okay for this kind of race. Richard Hamill and Mike Anderson are always tough together. I went 2-4-3.
Yeah, I ended up in the 4-horse 2 Trees. I think this horse will be the speed of the race. Not a lot to like in here. There's a lot of suspect form. You're doing a lot of guesswork here, and anytime you're doing guesswork, probably want to see these horses in the paddock if you're at the track. You want to have a little look at them, and if the 4-horse 2 Trees looks not washed out or looks fine, then I think you can probably guess that this horse may run well. This horse was well backed in its lone start last year, so it probably had good works going into the race, and to be 7-1 for 10 grand, it's not this horse obviously had some good things going on its form because it didn't show anything as a 2-year-old. But the works are decent, nothing special. But the John Snow Barn, as you mentioned, has been running well this spring, and it's a Tyrrell, so likely has speed. Had a tough trip, didn't get away well, and was wide around the first turn. So I just think this horse can be the speed of this race. Not maybe, maybe just play catch me if you can. I put the 6-horse, pardon me, My Sweet Bettina in the second spot for Dave Milburn. This horse had some sneaky good races last year. They ran him pretty high in some, had some tough assignments. Finally got down for 12-5 towards the end of the year, and then was 3 wide throughout. But this horse has some nice works preparing for this race, and I think with this not being an overly tough spot, this horse might be alive. And I put the 2-horse, the horse you like on top, Exotic Legend. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see this one win. I'd play them all in the pick 4, which starts right here.
You never get beat by the all button.
No, not all of them, but I mean all my top 3, the 4, 6, and 2. I think the 2, 4, 6 are your horses in here. Hamill rides for Mike Anderson. He's probably as the liver of the 2 Mike Anderson horses in the race, and you could, by process of elimination, maybe get it to 3 horses. I went 4, 6, and 2 in the 4th. On to the 5th race. Got some maiden $5,000 claimers going 6.5 furlongs. Got the boys here. I landed on the 3-horse Your Wish Is My Command. Actually like Nearctic Dancer as well. The 3 and 5, they were both scratched out of a race last weekend. There was a kerfuffle in the gate. One of the gates popped open pretty easily. And
very lucky to see Richard Hamill made it out of that okay. That was a scary incident. He almost got run over by the second horse that came out. Yeah,
Nearctic Dancer, Teddy Hurt's horse. But both were scratched. Both are right back in. Both had nice work. I like Your Wish Is My My Command. The form was okay last year, but you know, the works are excellent this spring, and I'm going to try Your Wishes, My Command. I put the 5-horse Nordic Dancer in for second. This one too at least has a race at Emerald Downs, and you know, might be, you know, fitness edge, little fitness edge over his rivals. And I put the 1-horse Regal Honors. I had to put someone in for third. Regal Honors been beat a lot, but maybe you can run into the third spot. I went 3, 5, and 1.
I got different horses. This is another grab bag for me. Nothing overly impressive here. I went to the 2 Promised Glory, Dave Forrester barn. Bit of, I guess I'm being a homer here.
It's all right.
Out of a stakes-winning mare, Gold Accent. His first start last year, he hit a horse on the backside. There was a spill in front of him. He hit the horse. I think maybe that soured him up a little bit. He came back, didn't want to run. His works are not impressive at all. There's not a lot to like about him except for the fact
in there for 5.
that he thought enough of him to run him much higher last year. Now he puts him in for 5 first out, and he attracts Amadeo Perez. That shows signs to me that maybe this horse could get the job done. The second spot I put Regal Honor. He never made it to the races last year. He was getting extremely close to breaking his maiden the last time we saw him around these parts. So Mike Anderson's horse, as we mentioned last time, his horses have been running good. He knows how to get them ready, so I put him in for second spot. And the third spot, I put Roy's Dream out of the Tack Inoue barn, another one that was running much higher. Ryan Pacheco and Tack Inoue are off to a good start this year. They've been hitting the board with a few, so put Roy's Dream in for third. I got 2, 1, and 4. On to the 6th, Clayman 16 for fillies and mares. Nice race here. I went to the tough old mare, 5-year-old out of the Frank Barrowby barn, Clarice B. She won first out of the box last year for 17.5. Basically the same race this year. Those races, that price is 16. Gets the rider Amadeo Perez. The second spot I put Sacred Delight of the Rosie Anderson barn. Rosie had an unbelievable year last year. Was batting
That's an understatement, unbelievable.
Yeah, she was batting about 50%. They only ran this filly twice. They claimed her out of California, ran her twice here. She won both her starts. Keyshawn Belgobin won the last time for 12.5. Rosie definitely knows what she's doing, knows how to have them ready. I feel as though she could have another strong year. I got her in the second spot. Those for me are the 2 winners, Clarice B and Sacred Delight. I think are the toughest 2. And in the third spot, I put Closing Intentions. Patty Leany's horse. She had a great year last year. 9 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds, 2 thirds. Only missed the board once. I got Closing Intentions in the third spot. I went 5, 7, 4.
Yeah, I agree with the 5, Clarice B. A little concerned with the pace scenario. There's not much speed in here, but Clarice B is likely the best horse in the race, the most consistent. I'm hoping Amadeo can keep her kind of close to the pace, but because she's not speed. But she's been working well for Frank Barrowby, and Clarice B is your horse to beat. I put the 7-horse Sacred Delight, once again, another one without speed. She was beating 3-year-olds last year. She's hooking older mares this season, which is there's a few of them in here. It's a company change, and we'll see how she fares, but she's been training well, as you mentioned, for Rosie Anderson. I put the 3-horse Maury's Glory in for third, just because she might be the speed of the race. She's not the best horse in the race, but she might get the best pace scenario.
There's a good chance we'll be running on slop this weekend.
Yeah,
too,
and
so
she loves the off-going. Her best races have been in the slop. She closed out 2013 with a nice easy score. It was for 5,000. But her first run against Ouch, Hidden Harbor, and Random Highs wasn't all that bad with a wide trip. And that was her first sprint run. And I just, if you can find the pace setter in here, you might have the winner. Yeah. This is not a race that I fell in love with at all. I went with Clarice B. I went 5, 7, and 3. But you can make a case for, if you can find the pace setter, I think you might have the winner. So 5, 7 for me in the feature, the $16,000 fillies and mares. On to the 7th and final. 12.5 maidens here, going 6.5 furlongs. I landed on the 2 Chester's Gold. Pretty impressed with his runs last year. And once again, the Mel Snow barn, Mel and his son John are both their barns are going well. Yeah. And the works are good. Not a tough spot. Amadeo Perez rides. I put the 3 Bluegrass Man. Slight drop in class after running against Admiral Morgan last time, and you know, it's about the same. Sorry, the same class, but still, it seems a little easier without Admiral Morgan in the race.
It sure does.
But Bluegrass Man had to chase the pace that day. It wasn't fast, but I don't think that's the style he likes to employ. I think it took him out of his running style, and that may have hurt him. And I put the 4-horse Fleming's Beach. He wasn't beaten all that far for second. You'll notice he was 5th with some trouble. And he might be worth following as well. Frank Fuentes a ride. I went 2, 3, 4, but I like the 2-horse Chester's Gold. I think this is going to be the speed of the race. I like him a lot. I
went to the 5 Wee Harry. He ran second in that race last time to Admiral Morgan.
Yeah, I don't like it. He had the rail trip.
Yeah,
easy trip.
Nice and close the whole way. Tack Inoue's horses have been running well to start the meet. Good old Tack, everybody's friend. Ryan Pacheco is kind of his main rider right now, and As you mentioned, I don't think this race is as tough as the one with Admiral Morgan in it. He ended up second in the last one, so I'm going to put him on top here. In the second spot, I went with Alan May's horse, Argyle Stable, Storm Over Sky, out of the mare A Kiss for Sea, who produced Out of the Clouds.
Yeah, there's a few out of A Kiss for Sea and that have run quite well here at Hastings.
Yeah, so first time out.
It's been a good mare.
Hall of Fame trainer Alan May absolutely knows how to get him ready. First time start, goes with a recent addition to the riding colony here, Juan Ochoa.
Yep.
The works look good. Alan knows how to have him ready. Not an overly tough 12-5. Yeah. I got Storm Over Sky in the second spot. Wouldn't be surprised to see him win it. And third spot, I got your top pick, Chester's Goat, out of the Mel Snow Barn. The reasons you mentioned, Mel's horses are going well right now. Leading rider, Amadeo Perez. 5, 1, and 2 for me in the nightcap. Up next will be our
a recap
of our selections. Mike will be first, as always.
Back in race number 1.
There we are.
Went to the 2-horse. Bridge Jumper over the 5 Makina. I went 2, 5, and 4, but I think those two are interchangeable. I'm going to play them both 2 and 5. In the second race, I like the 3 Elusive Lily for the undefeated Anita Bolton Barn, 3, 4, and 1. Race 3, I went to the 4 Admiral Morgan over the 1 Private Tanner and the 5 Ride the Sky. Race number 4, the 4 Two Trees, hopefully a wire-to-wire performance for the Hot John Snow Barn. I went 4, 6, and 2. Race number 5, I went to the 3 Your Wish Is My Command. I really like this horse. I'm hoping it runs to its works. Might get a decent price on the, not a big price, but some sort of a price. 3, 5, and 1. Sixth race, so I went to the 5 Clarice B, but I think this race is very difficult. Shop around. 5, 7, and 3 for me in the 6th, and the 7th and final I went to the 2 Chester's Gold, 2, 3, and 4.
And there we go. There's my picks. In the first, I agree with Mike on number 2, Bridge Jumper over the 4 and the 5. In the second, again with Mike, my best bet of the day, number 3, Elusive Lily over the 4 and the 5. In the third, I went to the 1, Private Tanner over the 4 and the 5. In the fourth, I went to the 2, Exotic Legend over the 4 and the 3. In the fifth, I went to the 2, Promise Glory over the 1 and the 4. In the sixth, the feature, I agree with Mike on number 5, Clarice B over the 7 and the 4. And in the nightcap, the 7th, I went to number 5, Wee Harry over the 1 and the 2.
All right, do it for the Saturday edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. Once again, first race goes at 1:50. We do have 7 races on tap on the Saturday program. Lots of great simulcasting. If you can't make it out to Hastings, please do come on out if you're in the South Surrey area. You'll enjoy yourself here at the Derby Bar and Grill. Please do take it in. Our next live card will be Sunday, May the 11th. Once again, a 1:50 post. We have 7 races for you.
And in our recap, when we look over the races for Sunday, we will be reviewing the
Ross McLeod, which features a very nice finish. So hopefully you enjoyed our Saturday show. Wish you lots of luck in your wagers on the Saturday program. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicapper's Corner.
Last night, I know it's Valentine's, the morning works look fine. You know the jockeys, brothers.